Coming to you from the studios at the Illinois Rock and Roll Museum on Route 66, it's the Rock and Roll Chicago podcast. Hey, everybody, it's Ray the Roadie.
And this is Under the Bridge Mike.
Under the Bridge Mike. What were you doing under the bridge?
Snaring rats.
Were you?
I mean, that's what you do.
Yeah.
You know?
And then what do you do with the rats?
I don't know.
Oh. You didn't cook
Let
them?
them go again. Yeah. No, I lived in this area for 30 years. And for 30 years, I swear, I didn't think these bridges were operational. And within the past month, I've been stopped by bridges more times than I have in 30 years.
Nash bridges or just the bridges themselves?
The bridges of Joliet.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Wow.
The bridges of Madison County.
I thought maybe it was like Lloyd Bridges or something. He was waving you down.
That would
bridge
be
over
that would be a
troubled
trick.
waters.
It is. Yeah.
Because he's dead.
Yeah. That is.
That's it.
He is dead. But yeah.
Well, cool.
So we're demented.
We are demented.
Who do we have in the studio, Ray?
We've got Dave Rudolf joining us this evening.
Hello.
Look at that.
I feel like Sally Field. They do love me.
Yeah.
They do love me.
And again, brings a whole group of guys. There was
It
not
does,
one
yeah.
girl in the
Not
whole
one
bunch.
girl in there.
Every once in a while, somebody's gonna show up with a bunch of girls one day. And
They
it's gonna
might.
be great.
Have you seen my face? There's a reason for that.
Well, that's why we're not videotaping.
That's right.
Because we all have faces for radio.
That's right.
Yeah. Dave, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great.
Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So you know a little bit about this music industry and stuff that's going on in the area.
I've been doing it for a
A
while.
little bit. Yeah.
Over 50 years full time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. You originally from this area?
Bradley, Illinois, grew up in, and then I live in Park Forest and still live there now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. So we have a lot of young listeners from around the world. So the first thing I would like to ask you to do is just introduce yourself and tell everybody who you are and how you got into this crazy business.
Well, my name is Dave Rudolf. You can check. Should I do the check YouTube or check my website?
They've already done it. I mean, young people nowadays Google.
Yeah, but they got to get the right spelling because everybody spells it LPH. I'm not pH balanced. It's RUDOLF.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got all of that stuff. But I've been doing it for a long time. I have a weird career because I've done a bunch of different stuff musically.
Right.
Which we can talk about later and stuff. And used to tour the college circuits. I still play out there. I try to keep busy and create. I love creating. So
right. Early on in your career, was it a solo mission all by yourself, or did you have a band? What were your aspirations as a young man? I guess is
when I first
the best
started
question.
out for about the first year, I was a band, and then I got out of that pretty quick. And then when I started touring the college markets and stuff, but even prior to that, I did a solo because when you're on the road, it gets expensive to have a band.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I made a lot more money in the college market than I would in a bar.
Right.
So I've done that for pretty much. I'll play with the band occasionally, but depends on if they pay me.
Yeah. Right.
It comes down to the Benjamins.
That's right.
That's
right.
Pretty much. And about what year or time frame was that?
When I started?
When you were playing the college market and doing all that stuff?
From about 75
Mm-hmm.
to into 2010s, 2012.
Yeah.
And then, I kind of aged out of it. And also in 2008, you had the financial thing. And so all of the discretionary money went away in the colleges.
Right.
So I kind of changed that. But for a long time, I had a booking agency I owned a booking agency that booked other acts in the college market too.
Okay. All right. That market, I think it's changed a lot over the years because the time that you're talking about, I mean, it was essential. If you were trying to make it in the music business or whatever, you had to hit the college market. It was almost kind of like vaudeville in a way.
Yeah. Well, essentially, in most cases, doing bars, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not demeaning playing bars, but it's not career building. It's unless somebody happens to stumble upon you, but it's not a career building thing. You have to play other venues. And, I did the theaters and the colleges and that kind of stuff because that will help build your career. So that's kind of the path I took. I kind of analyzed the stuff and figured out what I needed to do.
So when you're talking about you played the college market, it was more on a theater level than going, to Champaign, Illinois and playing all the hole in the walls down there and stuff like that.
No, I would do, the college would hire me, and then I played the college union, or I didn't do rarely I did the big theaters, but it was more the, like the unions and a small concert thing, coffee houses and stuff like that. And I was the idiot. I looked around when I first went to the conventions, and the girls, because you're hired by, the students, not the activity directors, in general. And so the girls would see these really dreamy looking guys, and they go, "We got to hire him." And I go, "I'm not getting any of those jobs." If you saw my face, you'd know why. So I did the funny stuff. I did, parodies and the goofy. I wrote a bunch of funny songs, and then I would do some other stuff. But that, I saw my lane. I took it. Right. I did the off ramp.
Yeah. The college circuit, when I was up and coming, I saw REM, I think at University of Illinois, but I didn't see REM at an amphitheater. In Champaign, they were playing the local bars. I saw REO Speedwagon in Bloomington, one time like that. Yeah. Again, it wasn't a big theater. It was a large bar that could hold them, but it wasn't an amphitheater or anything like that.
Then I went to NACAs a lot, which were National Association campus activities and stuff. And I did well in that thing. And you would find bands that are either on their way up or on their way down. So, you would have people. I saw Police in their first tour doing America, and they were playing these little dive holes in the bars at the colleges that hire them for frat parties or whatever. And then you would see people on the way down, like Orleans, who had the hits, but they weren't in the 90s anymore. They weren't particularly relevant. They were still great, but so you would see the kind of ebb and flow of the groups.
Yeah, yeah. And colleges had their more colleges, I should say, had their own radio stations back then as well. And that kind of helped out a lot.
Yes.
Yeah. Because that's almost kind of a dying thing now as well. There's not a lot of them
because of the internet.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
You are absolutely correct.
Yeah.
And it's harder as a musician to make money off of product now too, because everything is streaming. CDs are pretty much gone, all of that kind of stuff. CDs, they're still around. And vinyl is a very niche market. Yeah. And vinyls are expensive to produce from a artist standpoint. So I still stupidly do CDs, but I sell some stuff, but you make 0.003 cents per play and you don't even get all of that.
And you don't.
Right. And even like if you sell a song on Apple for 99 cents, you still get that 0.003.
Yeah.
You get a percentage. It's more like 59 cents or something of the 99 cents. Yeah. Because the one is streaming play. The other is product. So you sell that, but it's still not, particularly much. Albums cost money to make.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's a glut now in people making vinyl. So the companies that are pressing the vinyl, they're behind schedule. They don't, they'll tell you you're a year out on your vinyl.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that is a limited market. That's kind of overblown. The thing, it's coming back, but CDs still outsell vinyl.
Right.
CDs were going down every year, and I think last year they actually went up a little bit. So
I just wish I still had my 8 tracks.
Yeah. What I loved about 8 tracks is you'd be listening to songs, and you'd be going, this old, click. Then the next thing, you have to wait 3 seconds to hear the rest of the song. Yeah. They interrupt the song.
Right. I can see Ray cruising down the street, 8-track player,
Matchbook
or something like that,
holding it up.
Yeah,
he probably still has one in his car.
YMCA. That was probably still the most popular 8-track album.
Why am I gay?
Yeah. No, that's pretty crazy. So back then, I think you can see where I'm going with this. It's like somebody that has your experience in the whole bit. We've got a lot of young people listening. We're just talking about how things have changed a little bit. So, but back when you first started, and you were on that circuit and you were starting to get recognition and everything. How were you making your money? Was it from the sale of the albums?
It was mostly performances. I mean, I made decent money from it. The thing about album sales back then, or even somewhat now, is the venue you play. If you're at a theater or if you're at a really classy thing, people will tend to buy more stuff because they think their image of so much of everything is how people perceive things. Mm-hmm. They did a study once with perfume, and they put them in each ends of a cabinet, same amount of 8 ounces, whatever, same name. They wrapped one really expensive and wrapped one really cheap. And the expensive one, even though it was twice as much, sold more, twice outsold the other one. Yeah. So people tend to perceive things. So if they see that act and you act like, oh, that's a really professional act, he's up there and thing. I used to talk to colleges about that all the time. I'd say, it's how you present stuff. You go up and you start telling them, this guy has done this, he's done that, he's done this, before you even start on stage. Right. Because you helped do it. Because otherwise, I play college cafeterias and what the heck are you doing up there? I'm trying to eat. And I never like playing places where they arm.
No one's stopping you.
I don't like when they arm them with food. Yeah. It's not a good scenario.
Yeah. No, but that's exactly right. You could play the Arcada Theater and people are paying $25 to get a ticket to go out and see you. And then if they just waited 2 more weeks, they could find you down the street at Champs for free.
All right.
I mean, true. That's kind of the way it goes sometimes. Right. Yeah. You never know. So you hit the college circuit and a whole bit, and you went through there. What came next after the college circuit?
Well, I still did it for a long time, but I evolved what I did too. Mm-hmm. I started having children of my own, and I realized I was aging somewhat out of. I'm 75 now. I don't look a day over 90 though. But when I hit about 50, I said, and I started having kids over 40. I think I had my first kid at 40. But I started doing kids stuff too. I started writing for Disney. I have gold records and Grammys with Disney. Wow. Because and I looked around and there was nobody doing really very good kids shows. They were all that I love you love Barney kind of crap. Yeah. Or, they played down to kids. So I was doing kid stuff for the 4 to about 11-year-old, and all my stuff was interactive. So we'd have a beach party, and it'd be limbo sticks and hula hoops and bubble machines. And I wrote a couple kids albums. I got 10 kids albums amongst my kids things. And but I wrote stuff like Aunt Sarah's Got a Booger, and I don't like playing with Tommy. And so I had a lot of humor in there, and they were like,
I know both of those people, I think.
Yeah, and it's modern produced. It wasn't that kind of folky production on stuff. Right. So it had more of a productive side. So the parents didn't mind listening to them. That to me was always. So I always tried to do shows. Yeah. I would throw stuff in my kid shows, and I would do colleges with that. Like, because a lot of especially the community colleges had a large non-traditional population. Mm-hmm. So I kind of identified that and I went after that. So we would do shows for their, the parents had a comeback school and had kids. And they liked it because in a beach party show, I would do some Jimmy Buffett and Bob Marley and that kind of stuff. So they get it on one level and the other kids. And I throw in stuff like I do Neil Young doing kids stuff, right? Like this old man, he played one. Oh, gosh. So old man, Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I was an idiot, but I'm a professional idiot. I want to tell you.
Well, if you're getting paid to be an idiot, of course you are.
That's right.
Yeah. So what did you work on with Disney and what was that like working with Disney?
Oh, my career is very weird, by the way. Yeah. I don't know if you know this, I did the pilot for the all new Captain Kangaroo in 1996.
I did see that.
Saban, who is notoriously cheap. But, so I did the pilot for that. I was the captain. But Disney, had seen me for other stuff. My first pilot I had done called Fun Island for kids stuff. And they liked the stuff I wrote. And so you'd write with spec on Disney. So when you write for spec, they send you like a 3-paragraph thing and say, all right, write something for this. And they go, and kind of this style or whatever. So you'd write a bunch of stuff. And then I would make it on the movies, like for George of the Jungle and, what was the other ones I had? Mr. Magoo. I had for about 4 or 5 movies. I had stuff in the very final cut. And then the producer would come in and go, I'm going to put one of my own songs on because he knows that makes a bunch of money.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But I had stuff on some of their kids' albums. I had for Songs from 100 Acre Woods. I had a couple cuts on that and some other stuff too. Yeah. So you would write, they would tell you, and then they would change their mind. It was like Chicken Little. So they go, we want to do an album of like stuff where it has very much an Irish feel. And I go, what? Okay, I'll do it. So I wrote a bunch of stuff and they go, oh, we've changed our mind. We're going to do it. And I go, oh, okay. I just repurposed them and put them on my kids' album.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And how many albums did you do for Disney? Was it albums or was it soundtracks?
No, I didn't do albums. I'd write songs for them.
Okay. Gotcha.
And then they would either take them or not take them and stuff like that. That's the same way when I've written for magicians and those are different because you have to write for specific time structures.
Right.
And they say, I need a hit at 1 minute and 15 minutes, a sound cue in there so that the person inside the box will know what it is. And you'd have to write it exactly 3 minutes and 15 seconds or whatever. So it was another challenge. But so they would tell you what you want and then you would try to get it.
Right. Right. Yeah. Well, interesting.
Yeah. Very.
Yeah. So when you wrote songs for Disney, did you ultimately end up being the one that recorded it or did they have their own musicians and their own people?
No, you send them, especially since it was a, spec thing. You would send them stuff. I'd have it moderately produced,
right? Like
maybe with a drum machine or something like that. I'd bring in players so it sounded decent, and then you would send it to them, and then they would say, "Yeah, we want to do it." Like for example, one of the songs on Songs from 100 Acre Woods for Winnie the Pooh was the Owl song, and they did it exactly like I did it. Wow. They just re-recorded it. And I didn't get any credit for producing it, but that's the way it goes.
So they didn't use your recorded version of it. They brought somebody else.
And they had somebody else sing it.
Yeah.
And when you play with the big boys, you're under their rules.
Right.
And that's fine.
Right.
I could use it as a credit. That's the way I looked at it.
Right. It seems like when you interject Hollywood and stuff into things like that, they like singers and they like songwriters, but they don't like singer-songwriters. It almost seems like they want somebody to write it, somebody to perform it.
Yeah. Well, they want to be able to control everything of it. Yeah. Okay. That's the thing. So they want to control. I had to sell them half my publishing rights and all that kind of stuff. Wow. I didn't mind doing that. I mean, when you're playing with the big boys, you go in with open eyes,
right?
And stuff. But I wasn't the big guy in the ballpark, so they wanted to bring somebody else in to sing it. Okay, you sound a lot like me, but what are you going to do?
Yeah.
So it is what it is. You have to have your ego kind of squished down a bit. You know what I mean? If you're going to succeed in this business, because there's some good stuff in it, but there's a lot of kicking the balls.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Right. Yeah. So what gets you through that? There's got to be some frustration that comes along with not being able to have control of it a little bit.
Somewhat, but it's a matter of how you look at life. That's always the way I've been. I always say, you know what? I'm doing what I really want to do. Okay. And maybe it's not as big as I want it to be, but I've had a successful career. I mean, I've done a lot of stuff. I built my own recording studio. I learned to do a bunch of stuff. So sure, it would be better to have some bigger success on some of it. Would it be better to be known? Yeah, but there's problems with that too. So I've been able to do what I want. I'm still making records. I'm still writing a lot. So I'm not going to complain about stuff.
Isn't that amazing? Somebody, what we say quite often though, somebody who's made their living as a professional musician, they're just not famous or ultra famous.
I know a million of those guys.
That's what we try to say. There's a lot of people out there that they're making money. They're raising their families. They're supporting themselves. They have a good career, a good living. You may never have heard of them before or anything like that.
A lot of great session players. Although it's hard. Even the session players will tell you it's really hard, to make the big bucks or even that too. But, a lot of people don't have, a lot of musicians are kind of known for not being particularly frugal or smart about their money.
No.
And some of them imbibe a little too much, in the substances.
Yeah,
that's right.
I put everything up my nose and
which I'm sure he has a song about.
I'm sure he does. Yeah.
Kind of.
No, I don't trash. I have a bunch of stuff. I have a bunch of songs, but no, yeah.
Yeah. And it's probably a fair assessment to say that, okay, all the stuff that you've written, we're not talking about stuff that's mainstream, right? You're not going to be driving down the road hearing your stuff on the radio.
You'd be surprised. Sometimes you will hear my stuff because it's been on radio and TV quite a bit, and sometimes in movies. I've had a couple songs in movies,
right?
But they're never the marquee one. You know what I mean? And I do get radio airplay here and there,
right?
Especially like Dr. Demento played a lot of my kids, my Completely Cracked Christmas. But I also hinder myself because I do so many different things. I'll do country. I'll do kids stuff. I'll do rock and roll. I write all kinds of stuff.
Right.
So
excellent. Well, I think what we're going to do right now is we're going to take a quick break and we're going to get the studio set up because we'd love to have you play in the studio.
Oh, I feel the love.
Oh,
All righty. We'll be right back. Yeah. You're listening to the Rock and Roll Chicago Podcast. Hey, everybody, it's Ray the Roadie.
And this is Hollywood Mike of the Rock and Roll Chicago Podcast. If you've been enjoying our weekly program, we have great news for you. Just tune in to Road to Rock Radio on Mondays at 7 p.m. Central Time, and you can hear a rebroadcast of one of our past episodes. Then again on Thursdays at 7 p.m., you can hear our most current episode brought to you by the Illinois Rock and Roll Museum on Route 66.
So go to roadtorock.org, scroll down, and click on Radio Station. That'll bring you to the Road to Rock Radio, a station committed entirely to the great music from Illinois, from Chicago blues born on Maxwell Street to today's rock and roll and everything in between. 24/7, all music with its roots in Illinois.
Our Sunday nights just got a whole lot bluesier. Get ready for the Bus Stop Blues, a show that takes you deep into the soul of the blues with classic hits, road stories, and live jam sessions. Hosted by bluesman Kevin Purcell and me, the one and only Road Bill. The Bus Stop Blues is 2 hours of nonstop blues, banter, and badassery. Check out the Bus Stop Blues podcast at thebusstopblues.com, where you can listen on Spotify, iHeart, Apple Podcasts, or any other major podcast platform. Up on board the Bus Stop Blues, where the blues never stops rolling.
And we are back in the studio, and we've got Dave Rudolf with no PH. Remember that? Going to play a song for us.
Isn't fantastic. There's so much wrong with me. So this song is, I mentioned I toured the colleges, and a lot of times you go through these towns and they were completely dependent on one industry, like a textile mill or a steel mill. Mm. And if it closed, which a lot of them did in the 80s and 90s, you could watch the town when you go through them subsequent years kind of just fade away.
Yep.
So that's what kind of this song is about. It's a serious song. We'll get some of the bizarre tunes for you later, okay?
Sounds good.
Where the textile mill closed and jobs became few. In the church there were less souls kneeling in the pews. Yes, it's hard to have faith when God seemed to skip and left us to vanish like ghosts in a crypt. Where once there was laughter on the streets of downtown, now boarded doors keep watch as the dirt swirls around, and the doorbells who greet you are covered with the rust. All the memories are fading as the town turns to dust. It was such a slow death as the folks moved away, with no work to speak of, stores were left to decay. On deserted street corners where children once stood, the town still remembers the dwindling neighborhoods, where once there was laughter on the streets of downtown. Now boarded doors keep watch as the dirt swirls around, and the doorbells who greet you are covered with rust. All the memories are fading as the town turns to dust. Turns to dust. There's still a few stragglers too stubborn to leave, where they feel that they haven't had sufficient time to grieve. It's the end of an era, it's the place of their birth, it's the whole of their lifetime. Tell me, what is that worth? Where once there was laughter on the streets of downtown, now boarded doors keep watch as the dirt swirls around, and the doorbells who greet you are covered with rust. All the memories are fading as the town turns to dust. Turns to dust. Turns to dust.
Normally we would hit the applause button right there, but no, I can't do that.
No, can't do that.
Well, the town is,
Wow.
there's nobody left in the
There's
town.
nobody left. There's nobody to applaud. Wow, fantastic.
That's not a tear on my cheek. I had onions earlier.
Yeah, that's what it is. No, it's a
I don't
tear on
blame
mine.
you.
No, that struck a chord with me. It really did.
Thanks.
I've actually lived through that, so it's
Yeah, you see the towns and stuff.
pretty amazing. Yeah, the town that my father was born in is literally listed on the official list of ghost towns.
What town?
It was called Derry, Louisiana, and it was an old farming community spelled Derry. Just
I think I've been around.
just that. Well, it's just outside of Natchitoches.
Yes, I know. What's kind of funny, I always get messed up with Natchitoches and Nacogdoches.
Or Nacogdoches, yeah.
Because I toured all around there too.
Because they're spelled the same. It's actually Nacogdoches, but you know how people from Louisiana always change. Yeah, it's Natchitoches. Yeah.
Well, I grew up in Bradley, Illinois, and for the entire part of my youth, it was called Bourbonnais.
Right.
Bourbonus. Now it's bourbonnais.
Bourbonnais.
They've gotten classy now, and they're all there. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. No,
Yeah, with Louisiana, I remember playing down there at LSU Shreveport. And I said, we're going to take you out to the best Mexican restaurant the best Chinese restaurant you ever been to.
And we're in Louisiana, and you're going to take me out to a Chinese.
Okay. I get there, and everybody, including the servers and the cooks, were Mexican. I'm going, okay.
In the land.
Not that I don't care, but I mean, it's like, I think you guys need your better.
Smack dab in the center of Creole cuisine.
Yeah,
that's right.
I mean, you could have eaten way better than that.
I know. Yeah. Well, that way you learn. You experience a lot of stuff before the Northerners do, like Popeyes chicken.
Oh yeah.
And Canes and
Hurricanes.
and then hurricanes too. Yeah. And y'all.
yeah.
But I love y'all. It's not, if it's more than two, it's not y'all. It's all y'all.
It's all y'all. That's right. That's right. Or actually, or y'allses. It does become y'allses sometimes. Yeah.
I actually have one of my songs is all Texas colloquialism. It's like, well, butter my butt and call me a biscuit.
That's great.
Yeah, the porch light's on, but nobody's home.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a great area of the country, and it's so funny that you know about it, because most people don't. No people have heard of Natchitoches, and I think Natchitoches was put on the map because of the movie Steel Magnolias. That whole movie was filmed there in Natchitoches and all
What's
of it.
the college in that town? I played that college.
There is an LSU there, but the technical school, I believe, is LSU technical or something like that.
Technical.
Is there, but yeah, now
technical?
that whole city or town or farming community of Derry, there's buildings that are left standing there, but it's empty. It's
like
gone.
a ghost town.
The house that my father was born in is still there, though. I mean, but to get to it, you have to trek through jungle, where what once was a red gravel road. So yeah,
wow,
yeah,
that's pretty amazing.
But and what's funny about that area for music as well is it's far enough away from New Orleans where it's not just about Zydeco and it's not just about jazz and blues and stuff. They get absolutely everything. And I went back, I'm going back probably about 25 years ago for my grandmother's 90th birthday. And this song comes on the radio. Now this was early 2000s, 2001, maybe 2002. And this song comes on, the DJ puts this song on, and I hear all of my cousins saying, boy, this is a brand new song. I love this song. I've ever since I started hearing this song on the radio. and they were talking about something from Rum DMC from like the mid 90s. And it's like, they're just now hearing it. They're just now getting it like 6-7 years later. It's like, wow, that's pretty crazy. This is new to them. But
I love seeing the stuff that around the country, different parts, both the cuisine and the people and the thing. Like one of the songs on my Bubba Christmas album is Cajun Christmas.
Oh, nice.
And in Cajun Christmas, if you look at the Cajun Christmas are different. They have a guy who comes on a skiff.
Yep.
Papa Noel.
Yep.
And he delivers a present pulled by alligators.
Pulled by alligators. Papa Noel. I've got the book.
Yeah. Well, that's what the song.
It's the Cajun Night Before Christmas.
And it's done in a Zydeco thing. So yeah.
And the whole book is written in that dialect.
Okay.
So it's like the children all nestled all snug on the floor and they slide a plate of food under the crack through the door.
Yeah.
It's the whole thing. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
So what album was that song? First of all, the song that you just played, what was it called?
As the Town Turns to Dust. It's on As the Town Turns to Dust. It's 2019.
The title of the album. Wow.
Yeah. I tend to put a lot of songs on my album. The last one had 18 songs, 17 original.
Wow.
The new one's going to have 17. There it is, that one. Yeah.
Wow. Nice.
And that's actually the picture on there is Cairo, Illinois.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah.
Or do you say Cairo?
Yeah. That's another whole story.
Depends on where you're at. Yeah. Again.
Yeah. Well, very nice.
I love
that song.
Cairo, however you want to pronounce it.
Whatever it is.
Has a really interesting history, too, if you bother to look at it, too. There's a lot of the civil rights with some riots and the African-American stuff back in there, too.
Yeah.
Kind of.
I've read, I took a class in college where we studied everything that happened there because what actually happened in that town was an example of what happened everywhere around the country. All in one spot.
Yep.
It was different in the South. It was different in the North. It was different in the West. But there in Cairo, Illinois, you had a little bit of everything right there. Boom. It was, it was crazy. Yeah. There's a show on Netflix or something like that now too, where they actually filmed the show in that town. And I think that the show is called something like I'm Not Okay With This or something like that.
Oh yeah. Well, the one they did, the Watchmen series went back to, it was the one with, Journey Smollett and some stuff. It was based on a thing. They went to Cairo and they featured a lot of that stuff.
You're talking about
H.P. Lovecraft.
H.P. Lovecraft. Yeah. Well, I actually knew a little bit about that because where I thought maybe I'd seen you before is there used to be a place in Lockport called The Studio, and people described it as the Bluebird Cafe of the Midwest. There's a great little place that closed down about a year ago. Yeah. That was one of their locations as well. Yeah. I've actually been there where we cleared everything out so the crews could go in there.
Yeah, no, I never played there. Yeah. I booked a bunch of listening rooms over the years, and I tried to keep music alive. You don't make any money doing that. I'm just doing it as a thing of love. We just closed Edgar's place recently. It was in Park Forest.
Right.
But you know what? One of the reasons I love places like this Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and I highly recommend it. And I've been to your Big Daddy too, the one in Cleveland a lot. Right. You get to learn a lot about the history of the music too, where music comes, how it influences other people. And that just fascinates me. And so it's amazing to me. I love that. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, you've done a lot of songwriting. I mean, when do you find time?
But you know what? It's like anything else. People say, oh, you write so much. It's so great and stuff. How do you do it? But it's a muscle. It's like anything else you do. When regular people who go to work every day, I could say the same thing about mechanics. How do you know where to look in your car, for the stuff? Because you have muscle memory. You learn to sit down and let's discipline yourself to write. Mm-hmm. And I learned a bunch of stuff. And over the years, I keep at it. Because not everything you write is going to be great, but, you know. And then as a lyricist, I always try to be influenced by, like, the Town Turns. Thus, you're influenced by what you see. And stuff. And some of it's autobiographical, some of it.
Do you sit down? I mean, do you write every day, first of all? Do you sit down? No.
But I'll sit. Well, like this I just put out an album in April 3rd. And I've already got all of the new album written and recorded already. So I'll sit down. I'll go, I'm going to write. And then I'll write the songs. I'll say, I want to do this kind of song. I want to do that kind of song. So I'll say, but we were talking about Tom, about Dave Bowie before. His great line was, as an artist, you should go to the part of the pool where you can barely touch the bottom, because that's where the most interesting things get done.
Yeah.
So I push myself to do things that I don't necessarily know how to do. Way back when I did some commercial jingles to learn how to do them. I do Cajun stuff. I'll learn how to write a Cajun song. I'll learn how to write a bossa nova song. And so you have to learn the chord structures. You have to learn that. So you force yourself to do it, and that makes you a better writer too.
Right. So when you do sit down to write, I guess, what's your philosophy? Do you sit down and say, okay, from 10 to noon, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to write?
No, I just block out times when I'm going to do it. And then I said, okay, let's write some stuff. And then sometimes I'll have the idea of, people always ask what comes first, the music or lyrics. It really depends. Sometimes you'll have an idea. I could do a song later on that just came as a phrase. I wrote the whole song based on the phrase. I thought it was a cool phrase.
Right.
And it's kind of humorous. But then sometimes you'll get a riff going in your head, or you'll get a chord structure that you really like. And then you build the song around that and try to fit the lyrics to fit the mood you're going.
Right.
If you're going rock and roll, you don't necessarily want to have, some of the best rock and roll songs in the world have the worst lyrics. So you don't want to do Dylan-esque lyrics to Wild Thing. You know what I mean? That's what my point is. Yeah. Wild Thing is just stupid, and it's primitive, but it's perfect.
But it's exactly what it is. Yeah. So if nothing comes to you within like 10, 15 minutes, do you keep at it?
I'll stay for a while.
Yeah, you'll stay there for a little while? Okay.
Yeah. But I usually can sit down and write something whenever I want to now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 50 plus years.
The muscle memory. Yeah. You've been doing it. You've practiced.
Like I said, it may not be good, but I'll write it.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and write it. I don't care. I'll inflict anything on people.
Do you always finish the song regardless of how you feel about it at the time? No.
And sometimes I'll get stuck in something. I'll leave it alone. Okay. That's why when I run writing workshops, I tell people, don't get overly stuck on stuff. Yeah. When you're recording, when you're writing, everything, you can come back to it later because you'll drive yourself nuts and then you don't get anything done because you'll spend 2 hours just trying to get that right word or get that right sound you want. And just leave it alone. You come back to it with fresh eyes or you have someone else come in and maybe do a guitar part or something like that if you're in the studio. So I have no ego about that stuff.
Oh, good. So, yeah. Excellent.
Well, you've seen my face. I can't hit it.
Yes. So what do you find easier to write? Is it easier to write like the parody stuff or?
No,
you don't. See, I always thought it was because it's like, if I get blocked, I can just throw the word fuck in or something like that. And all of a sudden I get over it.
I understand, but that's the easy way out. That's like comedians. And I know a lot of comedians. I've headlined comedy clubs too, with some of their comedies.
Like Adam Sandler. I mean, he can write a song every day because listen how goofy they are, but they're hilarious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what was the original question? What's easier?
Yeah. What's easier?
So especially if there's all kinds of different comedy. There's parodies,
right? And
there's different kinds of parodies. Parodies like Weird Al, where you take a song and you try to make it close to what it is. Then it's funnier, okay? Right. Mm-hmm. Or you can divorce it completely. Or you can turn the script and put different words into an already existent melody. Uh-huh. So like I do one of my Christmas ones that I wrote. Your child was born in a manger. Virgin Mary. To you, Joseph was a sexual stranger. Virgin Mary.
That is so sacrilege. We're going to hell now.
I know. I'll meet you down there.
Whoever gets there first, hold the handbasket for the next guy.
Well, I went to a seminary for a year. Then I found out celibacy was part of the thing, and I was out of there.
No, done with that.
But there's all the different kinds of parodies. Then there's the songs and the hardest songs to write are funny songs that are on their own.
Yep.
That's not reliant on being funny because they're a parody of something. Right. So,
Hence more like the Adam Sandler stuff, or writes about gum in his shoe or whatever. Yeah.
Dead puppies.
Yeah.
That's Ogden Edsel.
Right.
Dead puppies. Dead puppies aren't much fun. So there was you know who's great on that from the I highly recommend if you don't ever heard him is Tom Lehrer from the 60s.
Okay.
He wrote Poisoning Pigeons in the Park and The Masochism Tango and Be Prepared. That's the Boy Side Solemn Creed. Be prepared, be clean in word and deed. Don't solicit for your sister. That's not nice unless you get a good percentage of her price. But he was a math professor in the 60s and he put only about 3 albums out, but they were great. Poisoning Pigeon. He was a great master lyricist. His wordplay was unbelievable. Right. I highly recommend listening to him.
Wow. What's your favorite to play or perform or write? What's your favorite?
I like them all. I like to be able to do a lot of stuff too.
Okay.
You know, sometimes I'll feel like doing like that serious song, like I do finger picking. Then sometimes I just prefer to do a rock and roll song or do some, just be stupid and funny and things.
Right.
Like, I can do this song. This is kind of what
I was going to say. Play us another one. I mean, you were all set and ready to go.
You said you got a lot of young people. They won't understand this song.
Yeah,
because it's autobiographical and. You're getting old when your body starts creaking. You're getting old when your memory's leaking. When you can grow hair on your rear, in your nose and in your ears, but on your head it's disappeared. Let's face it, you're old. When a Boy Scout tries to help you cross the street, when your beer got so big you can't see your feet, when you getting lucky means finding your lost keys, when gravity becomes your enemy, then you're getting old. When your body starts creaking, you're getting old. When your memory's leaking, when you're grunting to tie your shoes and your back goes out more than you, when your ARP card gets renewed, let's face it, you're old. When you wear black socks with your sandals and your birthday cake costs less than the candles, when you're spending twice as long to look just half as good, when you're thinking about prunes more than you should, then you're getting old. When your body starts creaking, you're getting old. When your memory's leaking, when you're grunting to tie your shoes and your back goes out more than you, when you hate things 'cause they're new, let's face it, you're old. Well, I'm old. Yeah, there you go.
I agree.
Yes. Well, there's actually more verses, but I didn't do them. When your idea of weightlifting is standing up.
AARP keeps trying to send me a card, and I keep throwing it in the garbage because I refuse. That's my way of fighting aging.
Well,
that really works, I'm sure.
It does.
Hey, when I first got my ARP card, like many years ago, I was still touring and that thing, and I tried to use it at a hotel, and they go, "Oh, you're old, but not old enough." I thought, well, damn that! I just embarrassed myself.
But
for
they
no
sent
reason.
it to me.
Yeah, I know. Why do I have it if I can't use it?
Yeah. Was there ever a time over the course of your career where you just thought, "I'm done with this"?
No.
You loved it.
No, yeah. I mean, there's times when you get a little disappointed. It's tough and stuff. But actually, been darn lucky, and I'm a go-getter. I started my own agency because if you learn pretty quick if you're on an agency roster. I was originally Blytham. I was on Blytham, which was a big college market.
Mm-hmm.
I think they booked REO Speedwagon and all that stuff. But I was on the bottom of their list. So I was the last guy they called. So I go, well, nobody's going to work as hard for you as you do.
Yeah.
So I went out and made it happen.
Yeah,
I built my own recording studio in the early 90s.
Nice.
So, you have to do what you have to do. And as long as you're willing to work hard and you got a little bit of talent, then you can do it. But you can't get distracted or disappointed. You just got to keep going on to it. Next thing.
Right. Right. Yeah. Have you ever taught anybody how to become a musician or anything like that?
No, I run workshops sometimes on writing or on the music business, but everybody has to find their own thing. I'm not an expert. If I was so darn special, I'd be a household name, but I'm not. Nobody knows who I am. Dave who?
Yeah.
Never heard of the guy. They'll spell with that PH.
And he spells his name. He spells his name funny. Yeah.
And you know what? No matter what I send to places to do advertising, they've got all of this poster, they've got my cards, they've got all this stuff with RUDOLF. I'll come to a place and they'll say, Dave Rudolf, RUDOLPH. And some of them will have the different spellings within the same thing. So
right.
It's very humbling.
Yeah. It happens. It happens. Yeah. So, who are your influences then? I mean, I can honestly say, I don't think we've ever interviewed anybody like you where you've got many different genres.
This bad.
And it's real simple, for a guitar player to walk in here and say, well, Jimi Hendrix or Eric Clapton, but who influenced you? Who made you want to start doing this?
A lot of people, but probably the biggest influence I've had is probably the Beatles, because I was always amazed when they put out an album. It changed music every time. And they would experiment with stuff, and they would invent things in the studio. They're the first ones to do loops. They were the first one to do tapes. Sgt. Pepper was recorded on an 8-channel board, and 4-channel board for Norwegian Wood and that album. It was amazing, and they were great writers. But they were never content to stay just doing the same thing over and over. And that heavily influenced me. But so there's a lot of things, but I try to listen to as much music as I can and be influenced by that, because there's so many great artists. There's so much great music. Much.
Yeah. I think you'd also have to credit, what's his name? George Martin. With that,
he was a great
Beatles
producer.
sound. Mm-hmm. He was fantastic. I mean, he's the one that got him to use the Glockenspiel.
He also arranged all of the string stuff for him too.
Yeah.
So he, like on Eleanor Rigby, all that stuff, that's him.
Yeah.
He did all that stuff.
Wow. Ray asks everybody that comes in here if they know a Glockenspiel player. That's why we had that.
I haven't found a band with a Glockenspiel yet.
Yeah.
It's not a common thing.
It's my quest.
I've had Glockenspiel on some of my records over the years.
Wow. Look at, so that we're getting closer, right?
Yeah.
We're getting closer.
On a couple cuts, I've had Glockenspiel.
Yeah.
Glockenspiel. It's a very German thing.
Yeah.
I'm German. Rudolf.
Right.
With an F.
With an F. Yeah.
With an F. Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Before the night, you'll actually have that.
Yeah. So what are you doing more of nowadays? You producing, you're playing, you're writing? What are you
I'm
doing?
still doing that. I'm doing a lot of producing, writing. I'm still performing. I try to do about 4 or 5 shows a month.
Okay.
That's about what I do. Mostly libraries these days, because libraries, park districts, some small theaters.
Right.
I can't do the big theaters because I'm not well enough and known, to be quite brutally honest. But, like libraries, I'll do, I just did a kids show in Seneca, a family show. And then I'll be doing, Saturday I'm doing Hillside Library, and we're doing a British invasion thing for them with a trio. So,
right.
But then, and then I'll do some coffee house stuff like that, original material. But those never pay well. So,
right.
But I've kind of carved out that, and I still like to play. I like to get up.
There's, what immediately came to mind, you would be a great candidate to play the Roxy Theater in Lockport. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah, I've heard of it. I've never done it.
Yeah, I've played there a couple of times. What's great about it, it's an old movie theater, the original movie theater that was in Lockport. They gutted it, turned it into, there's a performance room and there's a bar area that looks like a 1920s speakeasy. But the theater room itself isn't much bigger than this right here.
I love playing those kind of venues.
It's about this size right here. There's a real stage and the whole bit there. Right in the heart of downtown Lockport. It's the kind of thing where people go walking by and see, oh, there's something going on here today. Who's Dave Rudolf with an F? I don't know. Let's go find out.
Yeah.
And they'll go in.
You know, what happens is if you're a musician, you kind of learn to do it. They're not going to come in to see original music. They'll probably come in to see a British Invasion show, or a singer-songwriter show featuring Cat Stevens, Paul Simon. I can do all that. Or I do the Funny Christmas show, Completely Correct Christmas, because that has some national stuff. But a lot of my friends have played Roxy Brown. Yeah. So they like
it's a lot of fun. It really is. It's a lot of fun to play there.
Thomas Linsk is great. I don't know if you ever seen him.
No, I haven't seen him.
He does, he's he's an incredible keyboard player. And he does the Billy Joel thing. He's got, it's called, Mulberry Street. He also plays.
I have seen him.
He plays in Deacon Blues. He's the keyboard player and singer in Deacon Blues. I mean, the dude is phenomenal. He plays on my albums too. But you know, I'm really lucky with that stuff. Like my drummer, is Jim Wodlowski, who's in the pits of all of the major productions. He does Hamilton and Wicked and all that stuff, but he's like incredible drummer. They comes in and the guys I play are so good. I learned that early on. You get really great players. Okay, it may cost you a little bit more, but they'll save you money because they get it in one take. They just boom, there's there. Right. And they always cut me deals too.
So what's next for you? What needs to happen in 2025 for you to say, boy, it was a successful year?
The new album's going to come out in probably the fall. I would like to be able to place more of my stuff. I've had stuff placed in some movies and stuff, and to get other artists to do my stuff. I mean, I've got a huge catalog. Mm-hmm. That's the thing I really need to get a better grip on, is to try to, have people push my music out there to other artists or to TV. So I've got a couple places doing it, but I have had limited success with that. And that's what I like to do. I think when you listen to the records, they're well produced. It's not like they're just me and a guitar or anything like that. Right. And great players on them. So that's what I would like to see more of, but
Well, I'll tell you what, when we're done recording, we'll have a conversation offline.
Yeah. Because it's very special.
Well, because we're looking for sponsorship and we're not going to talk about them for free.
That's right.
I mean, we're not whores, but we're musicians, and that's close enough.
That's right.
Yeah, there you go. I agree. So
how can people find you, like, social media wise?
DaveRudolf.com. Are you Dave? My name, DaveRudolf.com. I have about 240 videos on my YouTube channel, which is Dave Rudolf YouTube.
Yep.
And that's got divided up into kids stuff. And then the Christmas ones and the Halloween ones are really popular too. I have a very good, there's not a lot of Halloween albums out there. So
no, there isn't.
In my
really no.
Yeah. So
interesting.
And so I got two of them, and that they sold quite well actually on iTunes and all that stuff. And then, so you got that. And then, Facebook, I'm on Facebook too, DaveRudolf.com. And, they'll tell you where I'm playing and that kind of stuff. You can listen to some of the stuff on my website. I'm also on Bandcamp, iTunes. I'm all over the place digitally. I don't have an Instagram, never did, and I don't have X.
Yeah, I don't either.
No.
I don't have those. Facebook works.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, before I forget, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you.
It's been great. You guys are great.
It's been fantastic talking to you. Really, you found us, I believe. You sent Ray an email?
Yeah, because my friend Todd Donnelly from Mr. Myers band.
Oh, yeah.
He's actually been on my album. He's a steel drum player.
Yeah, he was literally just in the studio a few weeks ago.
Yeah, not long ago.
Yeah, when he played. And so I said, that sounds like something I would like to do. So I got the name and number, and I found you guys.
Oh, awesome.
I found you in the desert.
I'm so glad.
Yeah. Well, they have concerts here too, don't they?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, they should have Dave Rudolf then, darn it.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
We'll have to talk to the powers that be.
We're gonna, yeah, well, yeah. And
Do you have any sway?
We'll talk to you about that for sure.
I have no sway over anything.
We have swag.
Yeah, we have sway. And
I've been
swag.
married 50 years. I have no sway.
We got some clout. I mean, he's laid enough carpeting and done enough painting in this place.
I don't want to hear about his sex life.
Yeah. What I would like to ask you though is to play us out.
Okay.
I'd like to get another one from you.
All right. For those of you,
This is called the Out of Tune song.
No, it's drop D.
Drop D. Oh, wow.
So I mentioned that sometimes you'll get a song just from a thought or a phrase.
Yep.
Hence this song.
Okay.
You ran me over. Just left me here in the dirt. My heart still skins from the forehead. My stomach still stings from the hurt. Not bad. I just took a thing.
I screwed it up. I never make mistakes, by the way. People just hear things wrong.
Yep.
I'm just a roadkill of love. Rejected, scorned, and rebuffed. I'm just enough was enough. I'm just a roadkill of love.
So Roadkill of Love started the whole song.
I should have known that it might turn out this way. The heart was littered with poor souls who had left on your way. I'm just a roadkill of love. Rejected, scorned, and rebuffed. My heart just wasn't enough. I'm just a roadkill of love. Yeah. I'm just a stain on her windshield. I'm just a bug on her grill. But for the moment you're with her, you can't deny it's a thrill. I'm just a roadkill of love. Rejected, scorned, and rebuffed. I'm just a cake of love. I'm just a roadkill of love. I'm just a roadkill of love.
Now that one we can do that.
That's it.
Oh, thank you. Except I messed up the beginning.
Well, Roadkill, thanks for coming in.
Thank you. I feel like that, too. I used to work at the Roadkill Grill. You kill them, we grill them.
You kill, we grill. That's great. I love it.
All right, thanks a lot.
Oh, thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
The Rock and Roll Chicago podcast is edited by Paul Martin. Theme song courtesy of M&R Rush. The Rock and Roll Chicago podcast does not own the rights to any of the music heard on the show. The music is used to promote the guests that are featured.
Rock and roll Chicago.